one. iONNA!
This past week, there was a significant spike in activity in the iONNA project. Let's go ahead and get into what's new. First off, this map here was released in conjunction with a press release. And although it's meant to be abstract, there's actually a good amount of information concerning the iONNA's plans in the immediate future. And I just wanted to call this out because this is what we're seeing, and now we have confirmation that their intentions are in these areas. And let me just point out what we're talking about. Interstate 70 we've been seeing fill in with deliberation. So seeing this line to me is an indication that not only are they planning on building Interstate 70, because we're seeing stations on Interstate 70 and this line exists, that means these other areas also are on their build list. Now we can't pick out specific locations, but we can pick out areas. And I've gone through and identified which interstates these correspond to on these little matrix blips. And we see Interstate 5, pretty heavily targeted. Interstate 70, as I mentioned, Interstate 35. This right here going up and down and it is Interstate 65. We also see a spat of Interstate 10 getting filled in. And over here is Interstate 20, which connects Atlanta over to Birmingham. Up here we see Interstate 80, and then a huge chunk of the East Coast, which is going to be Interstate 95. And points associated. And it should be noted that iONNA does not stick to the interstates. Many of their rechargeries are not immediately off interstates. They're in towns, and they call those local rechargeries. But this was really nice to see for me because now we know what type of area to look at for rechargeries to be built. And so far it seems as though everything is starting to fill in on here, and I'll get to that in just a second. Another good nugget of information off the press release. A lot of it was just praising progress, which by all means they should do, and also indication of where their intentions lie. This is releasing information for the partnering automakers and what each one of them are going to be offering their owners in the iONNA network. Now, the iONNA network is still pretty new, so it's not like you could take advantage of this. But they're growing with pretty good speed. So eventually, we'll be stumbling across these rechargeries with some regularity, and we'll be able to take advantage of it. Right now, you have to go out of your way to cross paths with one of the dozen rechargeries that are currently open. But those numbers are quickly increasing. I'll pause here if anyone wants to read through, but I'm sure we've all seen the press release as it was issued earlier this week. Okay, let's get into what's new this update. And there's lots of things. For instance, up here in Everett, Washington, there was already a station known, but now we have a second station known in Everett, Washington. So in Everett, Washington, we now know of two locations, two distinct locations. Same thing in Denver, Colorado. We knew of one station, now we know of a second location in Denver, Colorado. Well, let's just go through this real quick. What we learned, this was gained from the press release, and also permit spotting from Alejandro EV66, and also viewer spotted stations, or in PlugShare. So let's go over what we know. Vista, California, down here south of Los Angeles, north of San Diego, was mentioned in the press release. Denver, Colorado is up here, spotted in permitting by Alejandro EV66. Parkland, Florida, I forgot to put an arrow, but that's down here. It's actually a little north of Fort Lauderdale, and north of Miami, but south of West Palm Beach. Gilman, Illinois, up here, there's a Pilot Flying J station in Gilman. Middletown, Maryland is north of Washington. That's this one here, and you can see a cluster of stations up there. White Bear Lake, Minnesota. We now have 3 locations up here in Minnesota near the Twin Cities. White Bear Lake being one of the newly announced ones. Massillon, Ohio, which is I believe Massillon is this one, south of Cleveland, and Obitz, Ohio, is near Columbus, near the Reynoldsburg rechargery that's already open. You can't see the pip, but it's basically under this pip here because there's a tight cluster of pips. Ashland, Oregon, over here on the west coast on Interstate 5. Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, over here near Pittsburgh. Plano, Texas, has now been spotted under construction. Gainesville, Virginia, over here, south of Washington. And I mentioned Everett, Washington, and Blue Springs, Missouri, actually opened. This one over here. This is what it looks like in table form. I'll pause here for a second. I'm going to drop my video because a lot of these tables occupy most of the screen. These are the complete list of open stations, of which there are 12. Again, pausing here for a second. This is the locations that are known to be under construction. And these are the locations that are known, but they are not started, at least as far as we are aware. Pausing here for a second, there's quite a few. Okay, similar to the Pilot Flying J, I'm starting to collect counts. We have a total stall count of 543 of all the locations where a stall count is known, either open, under construction, or not started yet. That means if they finish all these, they said they would have 1,000 open by the end of this year. Currently, we know of 543 in various stages. Florida and Texas are tied for the locations that have the most stations, with 8 each. Ohio shortly behind. Colorado has 3, and this is irrespective of open, under construction, or spotted through permitting. These are just ones that we are aware of in various stages. Arizona has 3, Kansas has 3, North Carolina, my home state, has 3, Maryland is 2, Minnesota has 2, and okay. So what I'm going to do now is roll the slide deck that has all the Canopy locations open, under construction, and the ones that are known through permitting. Thank you for watching.